Trump seemed to suggest the tariffs were open to negotiation in his latest grab, although other officials were less open to changing them. And also we got some clarity, if that's the right word, on just how much fudge there is in the calculations they use to come up with the figures, which, as I said yesterday, were a bit suspect. Originally, commentators assumed more science behind them, including things like exchange rates and GST or VAT rates. But now, according to the BBC, when Trump presented a giant cardboard chart detailing the tariffs in the White House Rose Garden, it was initially assumed that the charges were based on a combination of existing tariffs and other trade barriers like regulations. But they said, if you unpick the formula, it boils down to simple maths. Take the trade deficit for the US in goods with a particular country, divide that by the total goods imported from that country, and then divide the number by 2. A trade deficit occurs when a country buys or imports more physical products from other countries than it sells or exports to them. So, for example, the US buys more goods from China than it sells to them. There is a goods deficit of $295 billion. The total amount of goods it buys from China is $440 billion. So you divide 295 by 440 and you get to 67%. And then you divide that by 2 and round it up. Therefore, the tariff imposed on China is 34%. Similarly, when it's applied to the EU, the White House formula results in a 20% tariff. Many commentators have pointed out that these tariffs are not reciprocal. Reciprocal would mean that they were based on what countries already charged the US in the form of existing tariffs, plus non-tariff barriers, things like regulations that drive up costs. But the White House official methodology document makes clear that they have not calculated this for all the countries on which they have imposed tariffs. Instead, the tariff rate was calculated on the basis that it would eliminate the US's goods trade deficit with each country. So Trump has broken away from the formula in imposing tariffs on countries that buy more goods from the US than they sell to it. For example, the UK does not currently run goods trade deficits with the UK, yet the UK has been hit with a 10% tariff, and in total, more than 100 countries are covered by the new tariff regime, and some smaller, less wealthy countries are actually the worst hit. And of course, it doesn't include the services sector at all. So there is plenty of fudge in these numbers, I think, to justify a political stance.